everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Breaking Character. My name is Jordan-Paige. I'm the show creator and host. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope you will enjoy this episode. Today, I am so excited to have my friend ELENA Goodrow on the show. ELENA Goodrow is a musician, songwriter, harpist, and coffee shop barista. Her dream right now is to run a coffee shop / event space where she can help musicians be heard and connect people through the power of music. After a year of traveling the country in an RV, she is excited to live in the mountains with her family of 6 and her dog. So without further ado, let's head to Zoom. Hey everyone, I am so excited to be joined by Miss ELENA Goodrow today. How are you? What's been going on?
I am good. So much has been going on lately. Oh my goodness, my entire life has changed too many times lately.
Oh my gosh, even just like following from social media and seeing everything that's been happening, like it looks like that things have been changing. So but I know now you're in a really cute like mountain town and working as a barista, which seems super cool.
Oh yeah, it has been so great. I love my job. I work at this really cute local coffee shop, and I've always wanted to work at a local coffee shop in a cute mountain town. So it is just a dream come true. And we live on this beautiful property. My mom's job provides a house for us. It's on a summer camp / retreat center type of property. So it's just in the North Georgia mountains. It is beautiful. There's waterfalls, there's rivers, there's walking trails. It's the cutest place. I love living here.
That sounds amazing. And I love seeing any of the photos that you post or your mom posts or just it looks amazing. Well, I am so excited to have you on the show, and I feel so fortunate to have worked with you in the past and be able to see your videos when you're as a musician and things like that. So I'm so excited to have you on the show. And we're going to start this off with a game of 2 truths and a lie. So I'm going to attempt to guess which one the lie is, and we'll see if I get it right, because half the time I don't.
Alrighty, so my little statements. I am colorblind. I have been to Europe, and I have a pet spider.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna guess that the first one's the lie and that you're not colorblind.
That is correct.
Really?
Yep.
Oh my goodness. High five to me. So tell me about this pet spider.
Okay, so I got her when I was like 11, I think, something like that. I had been in like a drug study for a new medicine that was being tested out, and I was getting paid for that. So little 11-year-old me was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get a tarantula with this money that I have. And that is exactly what I did. And I still have her. She lives in my mom's office currently, which is just like a half a mile down the road, and all of the kids at summer camp get to like come in and look at her, so it's fun.
Oh my gosh, that is so cool. That is, I give you credit. I don't know if I could ever. I'm fine with like seeing spiders outside. Like there's a huge spider web like outside my window, but I never open it. So I'm like, oh, that's cool. I don't, ooh.
Yeah. I really took pride in myself when I was younger for being into weird things. I liked being the weird girl in middle school. So I would love to show my friends like having a tarantula crawl on my hands. And it does freak me out a little bit, but at this point I'm just kind of used to it. I've had her for so long.
Wow. Oh my goodness. So you had the really awesome opportunity this past year to travel around with your family in an RV. So what was that like? Like what were some highlights from that entire adventure?
It was so crazy. We left in January of 2020. So we had absolutely no idea that 2 months later there was going to be a pandemic. So that did put kind of a weird halt on the trip, and we had to stay in the same place for a couple of months. But we were able to continue on, and we explored a lot of cool places, beaches, big towns like Las Vegas, a bunch of national parks, mountains, deserts, just saw it all. And it was really cool to see so many cool places. But my top highlight was definitely exploring the Pacific Northwest with Oregon and Washington. I loved it up there, and I would really like to move there eventually.
I loved always seeing the photos and the videos and all of that you guys would post about those adventures. And then, yeah, all the 2 months later, a pandemic hits, and it's like, this messed up the plan.
For real.
Wow. So then were there any hardships that you faced while, traveling around, and now that you're settled back in one place, how has that been to settle back into a house?
Yeah, so personally, it was difficult to live in such a small space with 5 other people. I learned a lot about the different sensory issues that I have and my need to have a consistent routine, because there's like, we're always in a different place. There's always something new that you're opening your door to. And while it's really cool, it was also causing just a little bit of stress and anxiety for me. But I was able to find the things that I enjoy and ultimately ended up being okay. But we did encounter a lot of obstacles. One of the bigger ones being the pandemic, and also we got into a car accident and our RV was totaled, so we had to get an entirely new RV. And in the midst of all that, we were also stuck in wildfires, like right in the middle of it in Oregon, and we had really no idea how we were going to get out. And we did make it out okay. The wildfires calmed down, and luckily we didn't have any problems, and we were able to make it out of there in our brand new RV. But it was definitely chaotic for a while, but we did make it through.
Definitely sounds like a lot of stuff that kind of got thrown at you. So yeah,
Yeah.
how is it different, being in a house now, since it's been a year or so since that?
Yeah. Yeah, it has been really lovely to be able to just settle down in this place. I feel very relaxed and at peace with where I am. And it was very cool to get to explore all these different parts of the countries. But now being able to truly relax and do what I love to do in this place that I have just fallen in love with, it's very fulfilling and has helped prepare me to just kind of continue on in life past all the crazy adventures.
I love hearing that. And I love hearing that for you, that you found something that very much makes you, brings you joy and brings you peace, especially after, a year of, on the road giving its own challenges. And then you had multiple other things that just decided to show up at the same time. So I love hearing that this place brings you such a sense of peace. So now time for the wild card question, and it usually has nothing to do with everything, but I mean, it does have something a little to do with traveling, since that's, kind of our thing. So where is somewhere that you would love to travel to, but then is there anywhere that you would not want to travel to?
Oh, I was really disappointed that we did not get to make it to Canada when we were in the RV trip, because that was part of the plan. We were going to go into Vancouver, but we couldn't because the borders shut down because of the pandemic. So I would still really love to go there. I've always wanted to go to Canada, specifically Vancouver. And as far as places I would not want to go, I mean, I'm up for an adventure. Like, I'm willing to try something, but I wouldn't really want to go back to Texas, because that was where we were stuck for a couple months in the trip, and I enjoyed San Antonio. It was kind of a cool town, but I would not really care to go back there. It just was not my favorite place to be.
No, that's fair. Especially being stuck there for a few months,
Yeah,
it's like, all right, I can pass with that one.
yeah, so hot.
Especially, yeah,
So
especially and hot. Oh my gosh, Texas is unbearable a lot of the time, just with that
yeah.
heat. Oh yeah, I can't blame you there. All right, so moving on to memory association. So I have my random word generator pulled up here on my phone. We're gonna wait until we get a good word, because sometimes it takes a bit, and then we're both gonna share the first memory that pops to our head that we're willing to share
Ooh,
when we
okay.
hear the word. So you don't have to share anything you don't want to. And so sometimes we get a word and we're like, we both can't think of anything. Let's move on with that. And this seems, I kid you not, this is what showed up. The word is pack.
Oh my goodness.
It just knows. It's just a part of it.
Okay, I love packing so much. Like, packing for a trip. I don't really know what it is about it, but I always have this list, and I will type it up on my computer. I have several different versions of packing lists, and I print it out, and then I check off each thing. I fold things so nicely, and it's very therapeutic for me to have this just practice of always having my packing routine whenever there's any sort of trip I'm leaving on. So yeah, I really enjoy packing, and I just remember all my good times I've had doing it.
I love saying that you saying that you print out a list, because I also make a list when I'm packing. I don't print it out, but it's usually on my phone with the little check mark stuff. So I get to like go down the list and make sure that I have everything. And I'm usually an overpacker, so I pack
Yeah.
way too many things that I don't need. The memory that popped into my head was when my family and I were, or my parents and I were moving out of Georgia and moving to Texas right before I went to school. So I was only in Texas for about a month before I left to go to school, but my brother was not there to pack a whole bunch of stuff with us, but his room had to be, the stuff that was left in his room was basically what was going to go to Texas. He didn't really want any of that stuff where he was living at the time. And so one of the things that was left behind was all of his Legos. And I mean, these Lego sets that had been put together, these Star Wars ships, Lego sets, things, we weren't going to take them apart. So we had to pack them in, like, literally as they were, trying not to break them. And it was, or I think some of them we kept together, others we did like in pieces and then put them like in the same bag. But that took so long, and I vowed to myself, I was like, I will never move those Legos ever again. Willing to help out family and whatever. Those Legos, I'm not touching them. It's not happening. They were so much. And it didn't help that like right before we were moving, it had turned out that like the dates had been messed up. So like, I'm going to get these dates wrong, but it was supposed to be like, oh, the new owners are moving in on July 10th. That's great. We're leaving here on July 1st. We'll have everything out. It's great. No, that was wrong. And it turned out they were moving in on like June 26th. And so we like were rushing. My dad was already in Texas. My brother was living his life, working, doing his, so it was my mom and I that were scrambling to pack everything up. And our neighbors were really kind because they always go to Maine every summer. And so they had told us like, hey, you're more than welcome to stay in our house. We'll just, give you the code and whatever to get in. So we could stay there for a few days instead of having to leave earlier, because we had stuff planned for the last few days, and, so we didn't have to get a hotel and all of that stuff. So it was definitely that was an adventure. So that's the first thing I thought of when I thought of packing, was the one time that I was like, this is probably the most stressful packing thing I've ever had in my life. Ooh, moving is no joke, I swear.
Yeah, seriously.
Ooh, okay, so you also mentioned to me that you've been doing a lot of self-discovery and learning about what you want to do in life, which I love. I adore that. I love that so much. So can you tell us a little bit about that? Like, how have your dreams and aspirations changed as you've gotten older?
Well, as you know, I used to have a very strong passion for acting and the film industry, and I still hold like a lot of love for that in my heart. But I have recognized as I've grown over the past few years that that's probably not what is going to benefit me the most or give me the most joy. Just in the long run, it was really fun for a while in my life, but I recognize that's probably not going to be my career long term. And after being able to settle in working at a coffee shop, I've realized that I'd love to incorporate like working or owning a coffee shop at some point in my future. But also an important kind of realization for me that was the beginning of kind of things switching up was a couple of years ago, I hosted an event called Salt Fest. It was a benefit concert raising money for cystic fibrosis, a disease that I have. And it went so well. I loved it. It was such an incredible experience. And I loved getting to connect with so many people and help people connect with each other over music, and also give local musicians the chance to show everyone just their art and their creativity. And it was so beautiful. And I would absolutely love to have some sort of venue that I can continue to do things like that in the future when it is appropriate to host large events again, and be able to have that space where people can connect over good coffee, good music, and just kind of be together.
I adore that. I think that is such an amazing thing. And music can connect people in so many amazing ways. I remember Salt Fest so vividly, and I loved that you were doing it. And I was so, so excited about that. So when I read in your bio, which I did the intro and outro before this, and was reading that that is something you hope to do, I was like, oh, that's so awesome. Oh, I love that. And that's a big thing to like, really, especially with it being something, acting being something that you did love for a long time, being able to take that step back and going, I recognize that this has changed for me, and I'm okay with that. You know, I grow as a person, and I've decided to change, because sometimes we feel pressured to stick with something because it's like, oh, well, but it's what I've been doing. And oh, but at one point I wanted to be this. And it's like, yes, but that's changed and that's okay.
Exactly. Yeah. It was
Yeah.
a difficult process that took place over a few years and is still taking place. I'm still kind of figuring things out, of course. But yeah, another important thing that was like a big turning point for me was writing music throughout like 2019, I guess, and being able to release an EP. That was really cool because it helped me continue to realize how my passion for music is growing and is still continues to grow. I'm working towards releasing another EP right now, hopefully soon, but we'll see. And I've been working a lot on practicing harp. I have a performance coming up in less than 2 weeks, which I'm really excited about. I have not performed in a long time, and it's going to be like socially distanced and wearing masks and stuff. So I feel pretty good about the safety aspect, and I'm really excited for that. So we'll see how my passion for music continues to grow and evolve.
Yay. Oh, I love that. So going off of that, could you give some advice to those that are watching? Whatever type of advice you would want to give, life advice, career advice, anything.
Something that has really helped me the past few years is discovering just small things about myself. Figuring out who you are is a process that is so incredibly long and so hard and will literally never end. But just little things about the way your brain works or the way you operate changes like the way you treat yourself. It helps you treat yourself with more kindness, and it changes the way you just go about your daily life. And by knowing different things you can implement in your own routine or different ways that you need to feel your emotions, it is so incredibly valuable. And it's just advice I'd give to anyone, to really sit with yourself and just figure out little things about, oh, if I do this in my routine, my day is so much better. And just those little things are so great.
So important. And I love that you shared that. Something that can be easily overlooked, but absolutely
Exactly.
so incredibly important. So when things get tough, what pushes you to keep going?
I have always made sure I have something to look forward to. When I'm having a really difficult time, I find it hard to be optimistic. In the moment, at least. So it helps me to know I have something in the future to look forward to, even if the like present is so not cool and totally stinks. If there's something in the future, even if it's something big like a trip or a vacation, or even something small like promising that you'll get your favorite snack at the end of the day or something like that, having those little things is like something good that you know you have to look forward to is what really keeps me pushing through hard days.
And that's super smart. Even as you said, something like, well, tonight I can have this, or tonight I will get myself ice cream. And it's like, I like ice cream, I'll do that, or whatever it is. It's a really good, that's a great tactic. And lastly, where can people follow you and keep up with what you do?
Instagram is probably the best way. I have Facebook too under my name, Elena Goodrow, but it'll be more current on my Instagram, which is elena.goodrow. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, I will put that in the description below so everyone can go follow you there. And thank you so much again for being on the show. I absolutely I love talking to you whenever I get a chance to. So I'm so glad that you were on the show.
Thank you very much. I'm very glad I had the opportunity. I really enjoyed it.
Of course. Thank you. I'm honored that you're on it. So we are going to I'm going to click stop on the recording, and we're going to head out of Zoom.
Thank you all so much again for watching today. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, feel free to like the video, subscribe if you want, share the video with a friend if you're feeling like it. You can also follow us on Instagram at Breaking Characters Show. And I am so excited next week to have Ryan Kaplan on the show. At the time I'm filming this, Ryan and I have actually already had our interview, and we had so much fun. I'm so excited for it to be posted next week and for you all to get to meet him and get to know him via his vlogs and his interview. If you yourself are creative and you're interested in being on Breaking Character, you can check out the link in our description below, and it's going to tell you how to submit yourself to be on the show. You can also follow myself and Elena on any of our social medias down there as well. And if you I think I was gonna say something else. This is the first episode back after the hiatus. It's been about a month since we've done the hiatus. So, hey, if you're back, thanks so much for joining us again. I really appreciate it. And I'm really looking forward to the guests that I have scheduled for both this month and guests that I have for the rest of this year scheduled. So yeah, thanks so much for coming back. I'm really excited for what we have coming up. So thank you so much again for watching, and we will see you next Tuesday.